In just a few days' time, this mid-handicap golfer, who's not exactly a mid-handicap golfer anymore, takes on the biggest challenge of his golfing career. Brett, how are you?
I'm okay, are you?
I'm very good, thank you. Brett, we're going to Scottsdale.
I know.
Arizona, America.
I know.
That's next week.
I'm excited.
I can't wait for that. So there's a couple of areas in Brett's game where there's loads of areas that have improved massively. There's a couple that could probably do with
help.
Yeah, and when it's good, it's good, but when it's bad, it's
bad.
Very, very bad. So today we're going to have a little bit of a look at your short game.
Yep.
Because some of the courses we're going to take on out there in Scottsdale, they're not that forgiving, mate. We need to be a little bit sharper, yeah.
Okay.
So in the bag you'll see lots of different clubs. Obviously, huge thanks to the guys at PXG for fitting Brett out with these and helping him on that journey to reduce that handicap. But these are like some of the shots where we just need to have a sound technique. We're not going to get away with all of them. I won't expect you to get up and down all the time from a shot like this, but the big thing here is building that confidence level where we know we can just play a couple of decent shots with a sound technique. So show us what you've got to work with a little bit to start with. I'm going to jump in and probably throw some demos at you, and then let's see where we are. So first of all, what club have we got out for this shot?
I've got the 58.
Let's have a look at the setup of this 58. So it's of course the Sea Grind Milled Sugar Daddy, and we've got 7 degrees of bounce on there, so we should be able to open that up nicely. Yep. The key here is to keep the speed through the shot.
And that's what we've really tried to work on all the time with this, is confidence and that speed.
That's actually done really, really well for you.
Yeah, we're a bad one, but...
Go one more and then I'm just going to jump in and show you a couple of little bits. How do you feel like you're working the hands away with that club there?
Trying to just move them slightly out.
Yeah.
But at the same time trying to stop that rotation.
Yeah, I just saw quite a bit of kind of turn on that last one. That's really good. That's miles better. That's a fantastic technique, and this is the thing that infuriates me as a coach so much, because when it's good, it's so good. And if we put both of those attempts on screen now, they're so different, and it's amazing how it can differ so much. So Brett, this isn't the only location we're going to look at today, but I just wanted to have some difficult shots, but then some fairly workable simple shots as well, so we can really get a bit of a fine tuning and see how we are, because when you hit a shot like this on a difficult one, we know that's nice, but it's even more frustrating to hit a bad one and an easy one. Yeah. So do you just want to stand up this top side so you can see a bit of a face on view? So what's key here is in setup, first of all we want that left foot back a little bit. Yeah. Open that club face up a touch. We don't want forward shuffling, which you're doing really well now. Yeah. But I also want you to feel as though that club works straight back here, not in and round this way. Yeah. From there, keep that chest turning, and you can see it's really easy to get that ball up in the air. Yeah. And even there, I've duffed that one. Yeah, it was a duffy strike, but we've gotten away with it because of the bounce of the club. And the key element here is to make sure that we get away with the duffs, and then when we hit a nice one, obviously it progresses on like we want it to. So let's make sure that we've got a little bit of kind of additional dynamic loft. We're not just keeping that face square all the time, and from there lots of rotation and of course lots of speed. So I'd rather that be the bad one, but it just goes a little bit long, than any kind of duff. Yeah. Any questions on what we've just...
No, I'm with you.
We've no Bobby today as well, so
Bobby again.
Apologies for the camera work. Azkaban again.
Never.
Yeah? Good. Oh, that's unlucky. Yeah. That's unlucky. I suppose a big key as well is going to be not to bite off more than we can chew as well. Yeah. Like play for large areas and things like that.
We're just kind of aiming for flags, aren't we? But I think if we're playing around here, you're not higher. Well, that's the thing.
Now that one is a prime example of what did you think was happening with your club face at address?
Square?
Far too square. Right, so there, even if you get a little bit jabby, that's when that ground interaction is going to really harm you. If you have that slightly open, the bounce is going to glide underneath it and you're going to get away with it. Good. Yeah.
Ooh, that's a little bit long.
But I don't mind that. That's fine. You're still putting, you've got a chance at par, whereas that one, we're going to talk about bunkers in a moment.
Oh no, straight under.
What do you think there?
I don't know, I felt the strike were good. I don't know if it was just too far open.
Probably, yeah. So it's just finding that middle ground, which is...
The strike were really good. But
the strike was good because you can see it on the face. It was that kind of middle strike there, wasn't it?
I think I just got it wide open and trying to be
and
too cute.
The big thing here is there is no substitute for having time on the practice ground and time just playing around with your shots, playing around with different lofts. You can see there, actually, the majority of the shots Brett's played are really, really good and positive. So we'll take the positives from that and move on. Like we said, I'm not expecting you to put all those all to 4 feet.
Yeah.
But it's nice that I think we've not had one blade and not one proper duff.
No.
Which is good.
No, we're still progressing forward with that duff, weren't we?
Progression.
So,
in the sand is where, just like a lot of golfers, probably a very, very tough prospect to be.
Yeah, definitely.
But I think if we can, again, just focus on getting the simple things right, so keeping the speed, maintaining the loft, and of course utilising the bounce, Brett's going to not have a problem with the bunkers. The bunkers in Scottsdale, especially at the golf course we're playing, the tough, the brutal, mate, the tough. But you can see here we've found a nice one with a riveted face to have a go at. This is probably the hardest distance from a bunker.
Yeah.
So what are your thoughts on this? Because I've seen you hit worldies, and I've also seen you nearly take out a Ford Fiesta.
I've got for 58.
Yep.
Just trying to take that sort of £20 note of sand and hopefully just catch it. Well, to be fair, looking here, if I were playing it, I'd probably aim to land it a little bit short and let it feed on.
And this really does speak volumes about how much the full swings come on, because to drop your handicap as much as you have and still be fairly worried around the greens like you are. The one thing I'll say is your 58's got 7 degrees of bounce on it, but when we start to look at potentially even your 54, it's just got a bit more. It's got 10 degrees of bounce, so that cambers more. Now we know that we want to have plenty of static loft but also dynamic loft. Just hit me a couple and we'll do a similar thing again, where if we can see anything we'll address it, but because this isn't a total renovation.
Just have a look at what I'm doing.
So we're going to go for that flag. But that is typical of what we've seen, isn't it?
It is,
What happened there?
Just too much sand, completely behind ball.
Too much sand, but also a little bit of a deceleration. When I saw the backswing, I thought, oh, this is going to be really good. It then just carried on. It was a bit slow, it was a bit long, and then it was just a bit kind of deceleration from there. See, there's the thing. It can then play that one, which is a great shot. Let me jump in and show you some again. So again here I'm using my kind of lofted but also club with most bounce on it. It's always about the bounce for me, more in bunkers than it is the loft. And actually you have been caught there, it's quite soft sand this, isn't it? So it's easy to get kind of caught up in it. But one thing that I want to make sure Brett does is first of all set up so that we have 0 shaft forward lead. Because even if you get a little bit, you do start to dig. And that's where if you decelerate a touch, it's a very, very difficult place to be. So, nice and low. You can see I'm lowering the handle as well here. And then you did the right thing by getting the long backswing, but can you hear the difference in the strike there into the sand?
More of a thud.
It's absolutely a thud, and all I'm trying to do really is make sure that from here I'm smashing that bounce into the sand and then the loft's pointing back at me. So what I'm not doing is I'm not hitting the sand and then turning this way. I'm making sure that I maintain the loft on the face. I'm still turning my body. If you don't turn your body, you'll shank it. But this one's sat even higher, so this is a tough one. And you can see again how kind of aggressive we've been at that. That's a full swing. But because we are just hitting behind it ever so slightly, we know that we're getting that right distance. So again, plenty of loft on here. I feel like I'm cupping that left wrist a little bit, like we don't want to do on the grass. From there, turn your body and release the club. Shaft nice and neutral, and again, all the ball does is go up. It doesn't go too far. And if I wanted to gauge distance, I would maybe shorten the swing or lengthen it. Just a touch.
Everything else setup wise is the same.
Absolutely the same.
You're not looking to alter how much you've opened the face for how far you want it to go.
No, because I know all I want to do is the ball to go up. So I want the trajectory.
Because that's the thought that I've always had in my head.
Yeah.
And that's what I've tried to do sometimes. And that was interesting when he talked about using that bounce, is that I've stood in bunkers, and if that flag were at back of green, I have closed that face a little bit, tried to play the same shot. But
potentially, but I think even if the flag's at the back of the green and I play that last one, I'm still okay with it.
Yeah.
Really, you're just taking your medicine. Like, we're not the best players in the world, we just want to make sure we keep the double off the card.
Yeah.
Now, I don't mind actually got away with it. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So, and that's the difference between, look at that's probably still rolling down there, actually, it is. That's the difference between having the bounce and not. Because when you didn't have the bounce, it finished there.
Got you.
Open the face more.
More.
More. And then aim your body left. Now just trust it.
Yeah. Not as we imagined.
Let's try that again.
Still right, we open, yeah?
Open, and then there. So we're just sitting those hands down. Better. A lot better. See, by lowering the hands, we're bringing the line angle of the club back up.
Yeah. Rather than it just coming out as a
Yeah.
shag.
Do you notice how I almost look squatted down?
Yeah.
Squatted down with low hands. You're just building yourself into a bit of a chasm there as well. I don't know if you want to.
Yeah. We're going to get the rake.
You're joking.
I'm going to give it a little rake.
And again, by learning these fundamentals, and really this we're just going over the fundamentals because there's a big week coming up, it's then just right, can I commit an hour here, an hour there, keep kind of practicing, and I'd rather you hit bad shots here because this is what it's for.
Yeah, definitely.
That looks much stronger. Keep the speed.
You think I decelerate then?
Yeah. Looks really good. So on the follow through, I really want you to feel as though that club, you're not from here, you're not trying to release it this way, you're trying to get it here.
Yeah.
So your hands are close to you, the loft's pointing at your face.
Almost hands in your pocket.
Almost, yeah, and you see how that weight kind of stays on the left side and it just kind of pops up in the air.
Yeah.
So I'm getting all the way through and around, but all the way, the club's doing this.
Yeah.
It's not doing that.
Yeah.
Game changer.
Oh,
That's absolutely class.
that was loads better.
Yeah, and we've just moved the ball forward really, haven't we, as well?
Because I did have it mid-central.
Yeah, let's have one more go with this one that's here. Because I feel like if we can just practice that and work on it, it could be huge. So show us this new setup. Good. And that was the sound that I've been wanting to hear for the whole lesson.
Good, weren't it?
Yeah, really
Very
good.
much that feel of keeping face pointing up, and
Yeah.
I can feel myself wanting to turn,
Yeah.
like you said.
So it's just taking the loft off it,
Yeah.
just robbing it of the loft. Right, we've done some very difficult shots over bunkers, we've done some incredibly tough distance shots from bunkers. Now let's look at the simple stuff, because for me the simple stuff isn't always the simple stuff that we think it is. So this is a position that should essentially be a nice, simple and easy up and down. We have a couple of different lies that we're going to go at. We have a bit of kind of, well, rough, and then we have a bit of fairway. What would you do here?
I'd get my 58 out,
Okay.
probably a little bit further back in the stands.
Yeah.
And try a similar thing to what we were doing
Before the bunker.
before the bunker.
Yeah.
But just with being back in your stance a little bit, trying to let it just release a little bit.
Now the interesting thing here is a lot of people will be saying in the comments that's totally wrong, you shouldn't be using that, it's too much loft, etc. But I think if you can master one club, if you can get really confident with one club, then you kind of have a couple of bases covered. So let's see what we're working with, then we'll do the same and jump in and kind of have a bit of a play around. But talk me through the process as well, because the process is almost as important as the technique here.
So I'm still opening the face, use the bounce.
Yeah.
I'm keeping my weight forward.
Yeah.
Still rotating my shoulders, but I'm just slightly further back in my stance.
Okay. Yep.
Yeah. just gone completely under that one.
Now that's the worry about opening the face up, and people might be wondering why you've said I still open the face up here, because you could play this square, but for anyone who hasn't seen Brett's battle wounds with, we've been known to kind of leave the ball where it's been, haven't we?
Multiple times.
But also, going back to the discussion we had about the bounce, we've got more bounce on the 54 than we have the 58, so I'd actually be tempted, because you don't need the loft, you just need the bounce.
Okay.
I'd be really tempted here, and to be honest, since probably the wedge fitting we had with PXG, the short game's probably, the short game's the thing that's improved the least.
Definitely,
I think it's fair to say.
That's the thing that was the worst. As well. So I think it shows a massive gap now.
Yeah, 100%. It's
I know if I miss green, up and down's probably not happening.
Well, hopefully more so after this video. But so try this with more bounce and like just a tiny bit open so you engage it. We don't need to be getting it up in the air. We can still play it low. Good. That was good.
Yeah.
What about the, obviously we said about the routine. What's happening with the routine?
I'm just trying to get that turf interaction before I go anywhere, and that was a little tip from Scotland last week, is just feeling that centre point before I address that ball.
Yeah.
And just having confidence to keep my speed then.
Nice.
And that was the Duffy one a little bit.
But it's the best one we're going to play. Now I'd be tempted here to play around with ball position a little bit, and work on how to hit the mid-flighted one, but also how to hit the low one.
Yeah.
Also with the routine, I'd like to see you stand back, pick maybe a landing area, but also like you would a full shot, just give yourself something to aim at, so you can then kind of set your club face up to that.
Yeah.
And then from there, it's a case of, I know that's going to be on the perfect line, because a couple of the ones you played are perfect distance, but all you've done is not set yourself up too high you want to aim. So you saw that one came out nice and low, and again if we kind of take a step back, literally just use the shaft of the club to give yourself even just a vague line. From there you kind of compartmentalising what you're trying to do. Ball's back in the stands, and I can just play pretty much exactly the same shot again. So you see how that consistency level is really, really important. Now, if for some reason I want to play it higher, all I'm literally going to do is, right, step back, same again, and just think, right, a bit further forward in the stance, maybe open the face up more, and then play the same shot, but it's still on that target line. So from there, we should be okay. Now we move forward onto the fairway, which is a different proposition altogether. That's where I feel like you really have to have maybe a little bit more weight left. So then from there, you are going to nip it that little bit more. We're still using the bounce, but you can see it's still just kind of nipping that ball through. Go on, you can do this. How do you feel like visualising that okay?
Yeah, and I think you're right, like it's something I don't really do, and like now I've just picked a little point out probably.
You'd do it with a putt though, wouldn't you?
I would do it with a putt, yeah, and it's never something that, and it probably comes from not being very good at this, and all my focus has been is kind of get it up in air and get it on the green.
But this is the thing, if we can give you half a technique but then take your mind away from that technique, I think it's going to help.
Yeah, I agree.
Good, that's your high one. And again, that's bang more on line straight away. So you much more like to hold that than you are that one to the left.
Yeah, definitely, yeah.
Now what about if you want to, I mean, I'm not bothered if you don't want to play it lower.
No, I'd like to be able to do that, because I think it's the right shot.
Yeah.
I think if I'm stood here and you actually ask me what shot
So then if we're saying that then, why? Because there's no more bounce on clubs than what you've probably got on these.
Right, so you'd look at playing maybe a wedge?
I think so, yeah, and you don't even need to open that up, just
play it like we've just played.
Yeah, exactly the same.
Yeah, okay.
Obviously this is going to come off hotter because of the clubs they are, but if you try and land it anywhere around your other ball, that first one, then it should be absolutely fine.
The first one that's off the green?
Yeah. Good.
Way too far there.
It's not though. It's probably inside the other ones.
True. One more with that one?
Let's just finish off with this one, because I think it could be a nice little, I know we said about maybe trying to get really good with one club, but also I think it's important to just play the percentages sometimes. The key there is two things for Brett here. One, do not decelerate, but two, don't go short and stabby. So have that nice fluid backswing, but also just let it flow through. So probably too long, that one, wasn't it?
Yeah, and I think that's the shot went long, didn't it?
Really good. Come on then, inside 5 feet, give yourself the chance. This is to get up and down to shoot your handicap at Scottsdale.
Oh, there he is.
So if we watch that back as VAR, decelerate, total deceleration.
And that's where, in that one, my mindset was, as soon as I got back here, is, oh, I've hit it too hard. And
yeah.
That's when I just...
And this is the worry for me when it does come to... We'll get in one more, actually. I don't want to finish on that in any lesson.
Get the eater.
No, you're right. But that is the worry when it's just practicing that out.
It is. And I think that's one of the things, is that under pressure, that's why I wouldn't probably try and attempt one of these shots.
Yeah.
In the past, I've probably used putter from here.
Good. Better. So you see there, you're still allowing that face to rotate and the toe to overtake the heel.
Yeah.
Really, really good. Guys, some really good things to work on there and some fantastic, hopeful improvements for
Scottsdale.
Well done.
Thank you.